No?
Okay. So I need to give a disclaimer. What happened was I wanted to give a shir. I wanted to give a lecture on on Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach in regards to Christians. Meaning one of the mitzvahs of Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach is to believe in Hashem. In one Hashem, right? Right? And the only Hashem, right? That's one of the Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach. And but somehow we've started to think in the last few hundred years that, oh, it's okay for Christians to be Christians because for some reason we think that it's Shituf, that they believe in Hashem, and they just believe in others also, right? There's a there's a whole there's some table with a few gods together, whatever, and that's really what's going on. But then the issue is that if they're fine with having shituf, so is that what we're supposed to try? Is that what we're supposed to teach them, to have shituf, to believe in shituf? Like
What does that mean?
Shituf means that? Well, that's part of the question. Is what does shituf even mean? What does it even mean? So, but what happened is that the more I've learned on the subject, the more questions that I've come upon. So I haven't grasped the full information. And anytime I come to a certain place where, okay, now I understand it, then comes up more questions.
Doesn't the Rambam say the purpose of Christianity is to create a world for the idea of Mashiach?
I mean, that you could say about anything. You could say that about anything. I want to say bad, but anything that's not inherently good is also has a purpose in it.
Communism or socialism, purpose.
Everything. Hashem can't. Well, let's say. Well, part. Let's first say, if we're starting with that, let's first figure out what we Jews believe in and supposed to believe in, what is true in the first place. So now, every morning, we wake up in the morning, um, and we were created we were given life that day for a purpose. Mm-hmm. If not, if there's a possibility that we wouldn't Chas v'Shalom wake up, but Hashem gave us life. So now we have the reins to choose to do the right thing. Now, the truth is, it's possible Hashem gave us the power to do the not good thing. So what's going on? Does Hashem stop? How could Hashem tell us? How does Hashem create us to do something that He doesn't want us to do? He doesn't want if He didn't want us to do something that He doesn't want us to do, so then He wouldn't make us be able to do that thing in the first place, and for sure not give us life while that's happening. Right? Isn't that makes sense? No. Mm-hmm. If I want to drink the coffee, so then I'll drink the coffee. If I don't want to drink the coffee, then I won't drink the coffee. It can't. How do I not want to drink the coffee and then I'll drink it anyways?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Does give you a choice.
That doesn't as if like the coffee is in charge of me. That doesn't make any sense. I was the one. Well, not this wonderful person to my right made the coffee from. He was the one that made it. That doesn't make any sense, especially in regards to the oneness of Hashem. This is very crucial in the daily life. Chassidus is very into knowing and understanding Hashem, the oneness of Hashem. Right. What does this mean, Hashgacha Pratis? What does Hashgacha Pratis mean? Hashgacha Pratis means that there's divine providence in every detail. How is that so maybe that's a good idea to get into that. What's the Kiddush? What's special about that in the first place? What does that even mean? And why is that even important for us to know? So I think that's very important, and then we'll figure out what how does it have to do with the whole world at large, non-Yidden. Then we'll even get into what it means when Mashiach will come. Okay, so right now, how does it even work? How does it work that Hashem creates the world in a way that we don't actually see Hashem? You would think it should automatically be that anything that's created constantly by someone should inherently be screaming out that it's created by that being because it doesn't have any existence on its own. It's not like the this food over here thought, hey, let me exist over here in this shul. Okay, so fine. So then all it's really saying is that yes, this is eggs. So the eggs is telling me that yes, it's eggs. So that makes sense. But if it never created itself, all it is that Hashem keeps on creating it over and over again every moment. So then for sure the eggs should be screaming out that yes, this is Hashem's egg. Hashem wants this eggs to exist. But then when I look at the eggs, all I see is eggs. So how is that even possible? So you might think this is very important. So you might think that yeah, okay, so Hashem created the possibility of of uh, of eggs existing. Hashem created a world in which eggs could exist. But okay, if the eggs are here, the eggs are not here. eh, Hashem doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to Hashem in the first place. So good. So he gave the possibility for the world to exist, and then he gave the reins to us to do our job to perfect it. And good, he's just sitting on the side and letting the world run. So so first, let's try and understand that theory in the first place, and then see how it's flawed. So the reason why you want to think the reason why you want to think that the eggs exist on its own, and it's not that Hashem is constantly like you know reminding it and re recreating it every single second, and it means so much to him that the egg should be exactly this way. Because how could we even say that if it's so important to Hashem for all these details, all these seeming minor details, so then automatically it should be screaming out that Hashem created it. How could it be that Hashem is in every single detail and it's so important to him, but then somehow he's not in it? It's not obvious to us that it's true. How could that even be? You would think, okay, so a Torah, let's say something holy, a Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so Hashem rests in it, whatever that means. That's a separate issue. But Hashem rests in, it feels comfortable in the Beis Hamikdash, and okay, so in the Kodesh Hakadoshim itself, over there, you could see Nissim, you could see how it's so holy, you could feel holy over there. Okay, so there Hashem is over there. So then you would think, okay, so Hashem is in every single minute detail, and then therefore the Torah wants us to have this type of this type of wood and that type of wood and this gold plated and this actual gold. And okay, so Hashem really cares about all these details because Hashem is there fully and in every detail. And then you would think, okay, so in other homes, in other places, it's not so obvious that Hashem is there because Hashem is not in all the details. But the problem with that is that negates the inherent definition of what creation or what Hashem's creation is, because it's impossible for anything to exist without Hashem being in all those details. Because if not for Hashem being in all these details, then there wouldn't be any of those details in the first place. It's not like Hashem says, okay, there should be carbon. Hashem is into carbon somehow, or this metal, or and therefore, okay, so Hashem is going to be in carbon, and good. And then all the differences, okay, if someone, if it's a human being, or if it's an animal, or if it's just metal, or if it's a air, or all this, no big deal. Okay, so then, therefore, you're not able to see Hashem within those details. Well, you can't say that because then the details wouldn't even exist in the first place. There wouldn't be any. There wouldn't be. Hashem would just create. What made any of these details even exist in the first place? It's Hashem that's creating these details, and every single second, because as soon as Hashem doesn't create something, it reverts back to non-existing because it doesn't have any possibility of existing on its own. It's not like I thought, okay, let me exist, and therefore I'm existing. I'm only existing because Hashem wants me to exist yesterday and today and this second and tomorrow and hopefully tomorrow and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, and so all these details are very much Hashem is very much in the details. Then because of that, then Sidis wants to figure out, hey, if that's the case, why don't we see? Why doesn't these eggs scream out Hashem? Why doesn't and because all these details are very much Hashem is within those details very much. And if anything, and this is also what Chassidus wants us to know, is that if anything, Hashem is even more in the details where he's not seen, where Hashem is not seen, where it's not obvious that Hashem is there. Hashem is there more than in the places that it screams out that Hashem is there. When, let's say, at least every Yid has a different time of the year that they feel more, let's say, godly or more holy. They're more in tune with their neshama. Let's say either Yom Kippur or whatever something in life cycle. Sometimes that people feel more godly. Then there's certain times that okay, fine. So it's just regular day-to-day work. But the truth is, from Hashem's point of view, because if you look at from Hashem's perspective, not Hashem's point of view, from Hashem's perspective, it's true. It's true what we were saying before, that really everything should be screaming out Hashem. Meaning, just naturally, if something is created constantly by someone, obviously it should remember, it should know and be screaming out that there is the creator, because all it is the creation. Without being a creation, it doesn't even exist in the first place. By definition, a creation should be screaming out the creator, just like light. When you see light, then obviously that automatically tells you that there's the source of light, because the light wouldn't exist without the source of light. As soon as you turn off the lights in the room, there's no light from that source of light. So whenever you see light, you automatically know that there's the source of light. So, but then somehow there's so many creations, most creations don't scream out that, hey, there's a creator. You have to think, you have to have a thought process that comes to the realization that yes, there is a creator.
It seems to me that it's up to us to choose to reveal Hashem in the world. And how do we bring Hashem into the world? By doing Hashem's will, by doing the mitzvot.
Right. Very good. Right. Very good. Because there are so many different creations that do not scream out Hashem. But the truth is, what I was going to say, the truth is that Hashem, you could say, needs to use more of a personal touch in order to have those creations that do not scream out him. Meaning, for Hashem, because it is only naturally for a creation to say that there's a creator, then in order for the creation not to say that there's a creator, there needs to be even more of a personal touch to those creations.
Wow.
Meaning, really, this food should inherently tell us that there is a creator. But who is making sure that this food doesn't tell us that it's a creator? Hashem is making sure that these creations do not say that it's a creator. And then, yes, what you were saying, and then when we make a bracha before we eat this food, and then we have in mind that we're going to use out the strength that we gain from this food, the words of Hashem that's creating this food. In order for us to learn Torah and do mitzvahs, so then we reveal within this food itself that it really is telling us that there's a creator. Like, for example, I heard a parable when a father or a parent tells a child to is teaching the child to ride a bicycle. So when you ride a bicycle, there's a time that the parent holds on to the bicycle to see, just to start. And then the parent will let go without the child knowing. And then the child continues going. And then the child realizes, hey, I'm actually riding the bicycle and all by myself. And then the child realizes, okay, this is how you ride. So now, sometimes the child doesn't continue riding. Sometimes the child falls. And this is the same. This is the parent. It's not that the parent is trying to hurt the child. The parent is trying to teach the child to ride the bicycle. Now, of course, the whole point is that the parent wants the child to ride the bicycle. The parent doesn't really want the child to fall. If you would ask the parent, no, I don't want the child to get hurt. But then, if the parent doesn't want the child to get hurt, then he should continue holding the bike. If he doesn't want to, if this is not his will, so then don't let go. If you're letting go, then there's a possibility that the child is gonna fall. But if you really dig deeper, the truth is that yes, the parent wants the child to ride the bicycle, but the truth is that from the parent's point of view, even if the child would fall, there's also a point in the child falling for a few reasons. One is if the child falls, so then the child will hopefully realize, like, okay, this is not how you ride a bicycle, so they'll know to ride a bicycle in a different way. But also, even if the child never learns how to ride a bicycle, the child also has a chance to use that falling for a purpose. Meaning, if the child never falls, so then he might think, okay, so he never falls. There's nothing to gain to cause him to gain understanding that there is a possibility of falling and getting hurt, and still having a chance of standing up and still going on with figuring out how to do things. Meaning, if you would just learn how to ride a bicycle right away, so good. So then what gain in life will he gain? He will just know that, okay, this is how you do things and good. But the chances are that sometime in life, some things won't go his way. Then is the child, when the child becomes an adult, will the adult at that time, will the adult be able to realize that even when he falls down, there's still a possibility of getting up and even learning from mistakes or non-mistakes and getting back on the bike and riding a bike afterwards. So therefore, the parent is fine. If you go back a step, the parent is fine with letting go from the bike, because in any situation, there's still a possibility of a gain. It's not a and because of that, even though there is a yerida, even though there is a possibility of something not going the way the parent wants fully, even then there's a possibility of the child gaining even more than the child would have gained from the parent holding on to the bike the whole time. Why? Because yes, if the parent holds on to the bike the entire time, yes, the child won't get hurt. So that's obviously a good thing for the child not to get hurt. And the child is riding the bike, but never learns how to ride a bike, or the child won't know how to ride a bike, and also won't know how to get up after getting out of falling down. So yes, everything's perfect to a certain extent. And even the child realizes, yes, my father is holding the bike. my father loves me. My father is taking care of me, and it's obvious to the child that what the parent is doing is for the child's good.
Mm-hmm.
And but then when the parent lets go, it's not obvious to the child that the parent is doing what's good for the child. It's not obvious, and the child might even be mad at the father. It's possible. What do you mean? Why are you letting me go? I don't know how to ride a bike. Why are you letting me go? No, I'm just gonna get hurt. And oh, but you want me to get hurt? No, the parent doesn't want him to get hurt. The parent doesn't want him to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But even getting hurt is still there's still a possibility of a gain from that. So therefore, the pros overweigh the cons in this situation.
It's a win-win.
So right.
It's a
So
win-win.
therefore, so getting back to the connection between Hashem and His creation, the truth is the times that we don't see Hashem, there Hashem is Hashem's true self, or Hashem Himself is even more pronounced in those times.
Wow.
Because when is the father doing really working hard to do what's best for the child and really showing himself as a father is the times that even the child won't even the times that it's not even obvious that he's doing what he is as a father, because those things are just automatic. For sure the father will hold on, but then for the father to let go is against his nature, against the nature of a father to hold on. And so then why is he letting go? Because he's revealing, he's tapping in to even more, the more truest self of himself, that he's doing, being the fatherly figure for the child even more at that time, because that is really what fathering could create, is in all situations thinking what's best for the child, even if the child doesn't even like it. But for sure there's times that the parent is not acting like a parent and for no payalis, and that's a separate issue. But I'm talking about when the father is actually actively parenting as a father is. There's a natural way, and then there's a holding back. So that's like what Chassidus says. There's when Hashem is Hashem Havaya, and there's Shem Elikim. Both are they're very much Havaya Hu Elikim, meaning Hashem is our master. Meaning the times that Hashem is holding back him revealing himself, that is to a certain extent even more of a true self of himself.
Wow.
Meaning when the times that it's not possible to see him, he's even more in those details than in other times. Meaning, really, you would think, okay, the question is, why is Beis Hamikdash? How could it be that, okay, the Beis Hamikdash, Hashem is in his full glory, but then somehow he's not in other places? If Hashem is one, so then what are you talking about? Is he in Beis Hamikdash or he's not? If he's in the Beis Hamikdash, he should be everywhere else also. How could it be that in other places he's not like that? It's like there's Yom Tovim, and then there's regular weekdays. How could that even be? How could it be that on Shabbos we feel, oh, this is Shabbos LaHashem, we feel all holy, and then we make Havdalah, and then we go back to work, and then next week the same thing. What's going on over here? Either Hashem exists or he doesn't exist. If he exists, so then he exists, and if he doesn't exist, he doesn't exist. How could it be that there's a Shabbos where everything is very holy, eating is holy, we daven a lot, we fabring, we have kedushin, we have family get-togethers, we don't work. Okay, so if that's what Hashem wants, if that's godly, what does it mean that Hashem wants? If that's godly, that means obviously that's what Hashem wants. So then what is he talking? Just for one day we're acting like Hashem wants, and then every other day all we're doing is playing with tchotchkela. We're working in the mundane, worldly matters. That you have to like look in a sefer to realize that Hashem exists in those things.
So let me ask you, why is it that on Matan Torah Hashem revealed himself? I think the whole world saw something. The whole world saw.
They heard about it.
They heard of it. So how come the whole world didn't also? Wow, it's a revelation from God. How come they all join in on it? They all only even accept the Torah, not all the goyim in the world.
Well, really, the
He's-
question is
Hashem
that why
revealed
the
himself finally.
the question is that he's not revealing himself now. So what? Just 1 second, then what happened afterwards? Afterward, that's really the. I mean, for non-Jews, then everyone realized that Hashem exists. Like everyone realized that Hashem revealed himself. Everyone realized
Was
that.
like the story with the Malak after or before Mount Sinai? The Malak.
It depends who you ask. I mean,
They're different opinions.
Oh, I think they revealed it should have happened. Before I understand, but after it shouldn't have happened.
right? Because okay, so that's also part of the question. Meaning, what's Hashem's end game? What's the end game in the first place? What's the end game? What does Hashem even want? What's Hashem keeps on creating the world in a certain way. Like, what's his even end game? What like if he wants Moshiach to come, right? It makes sense. Makes sense that Hashem would want the world to, for him to feel comfortable in the world. He's the one creating it. He wants us to do mitzvahs. So good. So make us do mitzvahs. Like, what is he?
But we have free choice.
Why should we have free choice? He wants us to do it. Why does he need us to have free choice? If he wants us to do the right thing, so make us do the right thing.
That's rhetorical. I mean, it's understood that when you do something because you want to, it's more than if you have to. Than if you're a robot. A robot has no choice. At least not yet. But a robot has no choice. This bottle of Coke has no choice. If I want to lift it, good. If I don't want to lift it, it just sit here all day. But when I do a mitzvah, Hashem is nachas that I overcame my Yetzer Hara and I did a mitzvah.
Right.
But that's understood. That's not.
No, I think this is very important. I think it's not
I don't think that's a big Hasidic idea. What I just said. I think it's very.
I don't see. I don't. Torah is very big.
However, Helen and Rabbi, for some people, it's inherently understood that you're supposed to go to Minyan in the morning. You're supposed to put in talis and tefillin. But for other people who don't do that stuff and don't make bracha and don't put on scissors and don't keep Shabbos and don't keep kosher, it's not inherently understood. They can't make that connection between the brain and the heart. They can't have Hashem's their chachma, which is given to them by Hashem, and for it to come down and penetrate their heart, so it reaches their neshama and reveal Hashem.
Right.
Whereas other people can, because they can make that connection. We all can, but not all of us do.
Everyone has a choice. Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is also part of the issue, because Hashem wants to be revealed, wants to exist even within those details that he's not obviously seen there. Meaning, what's a mitzvah, and what's even our free choice? Our free choice is that Hashem should exist in our own life. We should be Hashem's people. If Hashem just makes us do things, then it's just Hashem doing. Then it's just Hashem doing them. Then we're just pawns. But He wants us. He wants us for us to do the mitzvahs. He wants us to realize that Hashem is within all these details and to reveal Hashem within all these details. And then Hashem will also be. This is the point. Hashem will also be revealed within those places that He's not obviously revealed. Meaning, Hashem could technically make it that He's revealed everywhere, but then it won't be also. It won't be that Hashem will also be within those places that He's not inherently there, that He's not obviously there, because He's everywhere automatically. He's everywhere easily. He's seen everywhere. That's like if there would be the Beis Hamikdash would be in every single place. It would just be very holy. Also with Shabbos. If every single day is Shabbos, so then what about all the other days? If every day is Shabbos, so then Sunday won't. Right.
Every
Yeah.
day is Shabbos, then there's no contrast, there's no
Right.
preparation.
That's also. But besides
Yeah.
that, then the possibility, then Sunday won't be a godly day. Monday won't be a godly day because Hashem didn't give space for Sunday to exist and Monday to exist. Those days that is not are not Shabbos. If Hashem gives space for those days of the week for us to go into to work, etc., 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 and still show that Hashem exists within those places, then great. Then Hashem doesn't just exist within the Beis Hamikdash; also exists everywhere else. Also, it's like if why is it like some people think that okay, so I go to daven in the morning. I go to the daven in the morning. I'm Jewish. I'm acting Jewish. And then I daven, and I maybe even I learn after davening a little bit, and I make a brachas on food, and then I go to work, and then at work I'm a different person. I'm not I'm just I'm an American. Oh, okay, so I wear yarmulke. I don't wear yarmulke. Even if I wear a yarmulke, but don't talk to me about being Jewish. I'm gonna go daven mincha. Okay, so then when I go daven mincha, I'll put on a hat, maybe even a gartel. I'll take out my siddur. I'll start speaking in Lashon HaKodesh again, and then I feel Jewish. And then I go back after mincha. I go back to work, and this is whatever. But the truth is that there's no such thing that this is part of the issue. There's no such thing that during davening I'm a Jew and then I'm American or I'm a New Yorker or I'm just a human being, a moral human being. I'm good at work. And don't talk to me about being a Jew. Like, what does Jewish have to do? Being Jewish have to do with all these things. So first of all, there's a reason why there's so many halachas in times of the day besides during davening or during Yom Tovim. There's Hilchos Shabbos, and then there's other parts of Erech Hayim. Shulchan Aruch is full of there's Choshen Mishpat. There's many. Hashem really cares about what we do at work also, but not just that. Hashem wants us to be at work to show that Hashem exists within work just as much as He exists during our davening. During Shemona Esrei is the time that we walk 3 steps back and 3 steps forward to enter into a space, Hashem's space. That's the reason. So we're getting into Shemona Esrei. We're walking into Hashem's space. We're like, we have to be in awe of Hashem during Shemona Esrei. And then after davening, so what? Then we go and eat. We go and sleep. Like what? It's the mundane matters. So the truth is, Hashem exists within those mundane matters even more so. He has to exert himself if you want to look at it that way, he needs to exert himself to make it that the world looks like it's not a godly place. So he has to. But what he wants us as his partners to show that those places, work and eating and sleeping and dealing with other Jews and even non-Jews, all those spaces during the day and during the week and during our life Hashem should exist in that place too. And it shouldn't be that I'm one person during davening, I'm one person during Shabbos, and then I go during the week and I'm not that person. This dichotomy is part of the same issue. If Hashem exists more and is more inherently true during Shabbos and during davening and etc., and then during work and during eating is Hashem isn't revealed then as much. It's not inherently holy. It's not inherently godly. So therefore, so he's not fully there. He's not fully there. But then that creates also the dichotomy that we have in our own lives. Is it true that we could be less so-called, if there's such a thing, less Jewish? I'm not a Jew right now. Let's say I'm a New Yorker. There's Judeo-Christian values, whatever that means, and I'm American and good. So this is who I am. And fine. And then I go back to davening, and then fine. So then when I go back to davening, so then I'm fully Jewish, whatever that means. But no, it has to be that I'm just as much of a Jew during davening and during Shabbos. So good. So Hashem wants during Shabbos to act like a Shabbos Jew. Hashem wants us to be a davening Jew during davening. and a learning Jew during learning. And Hashem wants us to be a working Jew during work. Hashem wants us to act like a Jew, that I'm Hashem's ambassador during work, that everyone around work should know, okay, oh, there's a Jew, or that's how we're supposed to act. This is how a Jew acts during work. And then this automatically brings the time of Mashiach, when there's really Shabbos will be every single day. What does it mean? Because after all these thousands of years that all our ancestors sat and worked during the week, not just during Shabbos, but also during the week, it with time became more of a godly space. Every time a person, a yid says a bracha, so then vegetation became more and more holy. We reveal Hashem within those mundane matters. And that's when when Mashiach will come, then everything will be revealed within those spaces that is not revealed that it's godly. Even those places will also be revealed that it's godly. But that's with our work. That's why there has to be, like what you said, that's why there needs to be.
This is why they have a song, Shabbat is Ke'en Olam Haba. So every time Shabbat is here, it's like you feel like you're in Olam Haba. So we want all our life to be Olam Haba.
But not that Shabbos is every day. It means that every day should be Shabbos. Meaning even Sunday and all the things that happen on Sunday should be a Jewish, should be a Shabbos-tic Sunday and a Shabbos-tic Monday.
Yes, and that we should be revealing Hashem not only on Shabbos, not only in shul, but outside of shul, at home, at work,
right,
when we're meeting our neighbors, strangers,
right,
the mailman. Every experience we have throughout the year as a Jew, we should be revealing Hashem.
Right, and that shows
Shabbat. Shabbat.
Right.
Every day.
Right.
Shabbat. Yeah.
Right. So that's also that gets back to the original thing of how could it be that Hashem is within all those details? Because Hashem wants all those details that seem mundane. Hashem wants us to make those little details into Hashem's details. Hashem wants us, like Hashem puts us in a certain situations, and because Hashem wants us to use them for His good. That's just like the healthy father that would even let go of the bike, because he wants the child to use any of the situations that will come out of that choice that the father made. He wants the child to use that for the betterment of his life. Meaning, without letting go, then the child wouldn't reveal his maturity and his health, his healthy living, if he would, without putting the child into those situations. So therefore the whole thing of Shituf, the whole thing of Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach is very, very crucial. It's very, very important. It's important for everyone to realize that there's one Hashem, because without there being one Hashem, so then there could be Shabbos, there could be weekday, and it's separate entities. It's as if Hashem is more here and less there. Hashem is removed. Certain times Hashem is more removed. Certain times Hashem is more revealed, and so forth. But if we realize that really the times that we don't see Hashem is even there, and even more so, he's showing his true self, his even more true self, even specifically in those times. So then we could conquer the whole world. Every situation will be a catalyst to reveal Hashem.
So Mashiach will come when they're going to recognize one Hashem, or regardless of when Mashiach comes, they'll recognize that finally. Meaning, once all the going recognize that there's one Hashem, then Mashiach can come.
Right. So the problem.
It's our job to make sure that everyone recognizes one Hashem before Mashiach can come finally. Or?
No, Mashiach should have already come. That's for sure. It doesn't make any sense that Mashiach didn't come yet. It doesn't make it's yeah. That's a separate. But the problem with thinking you're asking a good question. The problem with saying that everyone needs to know something before Mashiach comes is that we also know that that Mashiach is going to be a teacher. Mashiach is going to teach us things.
No.
So if we need to know the truth, so then what is there for him to teach?
What is the world?
Right, but if he wants the child, if he was asking
Hey,
if
we'll
we
take a
need
look
to
at the
get all Yidden, right? That's also that's Inyonei. That seems like maybe even beforehand when Inyonei comes. I don't okay, but it's I don't know because I don't know. It's possible. There's many theories about um what the Goyim believe. Well, first of all, if the Goyim believe in anything in the first place, that's some chuvas, some response to literature make it sound like it's fine. It's we don't. They don't believe in Avodah Zarah because they don't believe in anything anyway. They don't even know what they believe in.
They believe in multiple genders because they can believe in
Say it. They don't really believe it.
Right. So that's one
I
thing.
can tell you today's Tuesday. Do I really believe it if you put me pick a shvuah? No. Today's Sunday. But I can say it's Tuesday, and if enough people believe it, then they believe it. It's a certain nonsense.
Meaning the Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach, like having non-Jews believe in one God, like do they already do that? Do they already believe it? Right, there are Noahites that actually have that's actually kind of funny. It's kind of funny. The Christians, the evangelical that tend to want to create convert Jews to Christianity and show that really to be a true Jew you have to believe in Yashka, etc., etc. And then they try to prove from Tanakh itself that Yashka is really Mashiach. So they themselves, what happens is, there are certain people in Yerushalayim that like catch the, try to get them nuts, like to get, right. But then what happens is he proves them wrong,
They don't
proves them
be
right, yeah, and besides they take things out of context and they don't understand, they translate it incorrectly. So then he shows that whatever they want, they claim that they really believe in those that try to convert Jew to Christianity, they themselves claim that they believe in really the Jewish God. So what he does, he negates all their nonsense. Then he says, well, then why don't you just believe in one God? Like just
go straight to the source.
do Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach. Like believe in one Hashem and follow the moral code that Hashem gave to all humankind and good. So a lot of them end up being B'nai Noach. Like meaning they start believing in one Hashem, they negate Yashka and Christianity, and they realize that really the truth is the truth. So it's funny because they're the ones that are like before he like flips it up.
When you look at the Shema Noach, there's no observance of what we'll call religion, so that we have the 7 mitzvos, but there's no rituals, and
Interesting.
so that a guy who finds out that there's Shema Noach, and they say, so you don't want me to steal, and I can't kill, and I gotta help set up a court system, but you have Shabbos, you have Yom Tov, you have Chanukah and Purim, you have rituals, you have Hollis. Still, and where's the rituals?
You do something else. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we help them out.
But on a serious level,
right? You would think,
missing. And some of them will decide, I'm going to convert them because I want the rituals. I want meaning.
Well, that's the question. If rituals create meaning, or it's just doing the right thing is the meaning. creates the meat.
I mean,
Yeah, but the majority of our mitzvahs are negative mitzvahs. The majority of what we have
all right, so
are negatives.
okay, so the halachos are things we purposely avoid on Shabbos.
Okay.
So those are things that help create our Shabbos environment.
Okay, there's bus for dogim and yeah, one, but
And everything.
majority of my life.
Yaseis and the los naseis. Imagine if you only. The point is that if there's a certain something incomplete with the Shemoneh Noach, so that a person may decide, I'm going to convert and go all the way because the Shemoneh Noach is missing something.
Well, that's all right. I never thought of that. It's interesting.
But that's from a Jewish point of view.
Yeah.
Which is our experience.
Well, okay. As the problem would be
so they have holidays, kind of
right. So the problem would be is if people say that Yiddishkeit,
because at least they have rituals.
the problem would be is if Yiddishkeit, if being following mitzvahs and learning Torah is like because it makes you feel good or it makes life better. It's, instead of thinking like this is just what Hashem, this is because Hashem wants. So if that's the case, so then if you would think that Shabbos is great because it gives you more family time and it takes you away from your phone and you time to relax. Okay, so then and that gives more. So then it's good to be Jewish because you could shake Lulav Esrog, you could eat some matzah once a year, something. So good. So then you have if the rituals create the milieu of what's special about Yiddishkeit. So then, you're right.
From another religion.
Right. But then the problem is, the truth is that the rituals are not. Well, it does create a byproduct of healthy human beings. But the truth is because Hashem wants us to do those. They're His mitzvahs. He wants us to do His mitzvahs. It's not because it
goes from having his religion to Shemoneh Noach. It may be a letdown, a disappointment because there's no rituals.
Right. I never heard that before. I don't know why I haven't heard them ask that. Maybe
it just came.
That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't even seen. Right. I haven't heard anyone say that.
All right.
Meaning you would think that they would complain about that.
They may complain that.
I mean, like for example, lately, like the last few, tens of years, whatever, hundred, like since the women's liberation movement, there's been a handful of women that complained that there's not so many rituals for women. Like putting on tefillin.
Correct. And all of them decide they want to learn a lot of Torah. And they want to daven because they're doing things.
Right. So you would think that Shemoneh Noach would ask the same question.
But I don't know. I've spoken to converts along the way.
Maybe then they just become converts.
But the answer is the converts never. I don't know that there are too many people that mostly go through a mode that they're Shiva Mitzvah Noach. Some people decide to stay a goy, people convert, but there are too many people that take on a special status called I'm a Noahide, period. Because it's like a border. It's like in between. You're not Jewish. You're not.
You're just doing what Hashem wants. That's all.
Right, but that it doesn't leave you much.
So the question is how God centric is the person.
Yeah.
The more there's more God centric, then it wouldn't matter. If for example, if a person is a Tzollah member, so then he'll have less. There's a chance that he'll have less rituals during Shabbos, right?
He has the biggest mitzvah of Asalas Nefashis.
Right, but
it's involved.
Right. But he knows that he's needed as a.
That said,
no, not to the. I'm saying that's what he's needed for.
Yeah.
Meaning it's not about him. If from his point of view, he might even like davening, he might even like Shabbos, and he might even want Shabbos. But what is he going to do? He's needed Meaning he wants,
But at the
he has
same-
his own wants, but he's negating his own wants for the betterment of the community. What is
The
he needed
difference
for?
is that when he doesn't get a call, he does have Shabbos.
Because that's what he's needed for.
Right. But the Noahide, he never
But that's what he's needed for.
he never
Maybe-
has rituals.
Maybe you'd think maybe there should be like some sort of sitter or like what are they're supposed to do?
There's no,
Supposed to there
there's
is? I mean they should pray, obviously. It's
Well, it's
part of the mitzvah.
well, its own prayer. It's like asking Exodola, whatever,
Right.
before Exodola,
Meaning so that could be
was from ourselves. There was no nusach.
it's a good question.
So, a
Maybe
Noah,
I should ask Tuvia. Maybe I should ask Tuvia. Like
you're in
what's
touch with him?
no.
Oh.
But I could message him.
Yeah.
He's very into these Bnei, so probably they ask him these questions. So interesting what he said.
Okay.
Good, thank you. It was a nice a
No,
nice
so what makes it? What doesn't he have to come? That's it. Let's go today. You ready? I'm not ready. No.
You're not ready?
What?
You're not ready?
Where's are you actually ready for
I
my
don't think what's the big deal?
When you get the call today,
You're
that he
so
arrived,
you're like you identify yourself as a New Yorker or what as a Brooklynite.
No, I can trust me. I can leave all this behind in a second.
Like what?
If the League of an Eye can leave this behind,
exactly.
you're already.
Like what?
The League of an Eye.
Put it this way here. I'll give you a good example. 2 years ago, Pesach, I went with my family, went with our in-laws. We went to Maryland for Pesach. So Maryland is we drove there. So we had a car the entire Pesach, and I drove whatever the few blocks from the house, from the place we were staying to the shul. Now, when I got to the corner, I stopped by the red light and I went slowly. And I didn't start going after the green light, and there was hardly any cars. And every car waited for the next car. It was like no trying to get into the next lane. It was very like that. Within a week, I was completely okay with that. Very different than car nights. Very different than New York. And I was right. And I was completely. I felt at home.
Yeah.
But wait a second. I felt so at home at this that the next day, after Pesach, when we came to Crown Heights, I was thinking, "You madman! Like, what on earth are these people? Like, you have to. Where are you even going? You have to go. You go to the red light. You're like right on the pedal right then. Meaning that adjustment type. I realized that I'm within a week. I'm a Maryland.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's not more of where. It's more of that I really do everything I can to hasten the coming of Mashiach. That I really spend so much of my time as much as I should have.
no?
That's not my. I'm not care for that. Leaving New York, I can leave New York in a second. Trust me.
What is it? You think Hashem is like your worst principal? Like the worst Tanhalama that would like complain to you all the time, like and never give you any compliment. Like he's gonna say, "Wow, this is an amazing guy."
Yeah.
Like I put him in this garbage dump.
Yeah.
That I call the lowest world, and you did mitzvahs.
Yeah.
And okay, fine. So
and he admitted he wasn't ready. So
Yeah.
yeah. Like what's this?
Yes.
What do you?
It's a nice garbage, the rats, the I can even.
Maybe he's like a nice guy. Maybe he's like a nice, maybe.
I hope I can.
Possibly.
Yeah, but then what?
It is like
but you suing me. You're suing for a reason.
right. Okay, so he's sometimes it's sometimes a father unfortunately has to. I mean, I'm not here to give excuses.
It's a rabbit hole. You can go down a rabbit hole for.
it shouldn't today.
Yeah.